Listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
We walk the line and try to see, falling behind what could be. Oh, bring me up higher.
I had to add new music. I just had to. I was getting burnt out of all my old stuff, you know?
I like your pick.
Yeah, thank you. Great pick. Why do you do this to me? Hold on, girls. It's a finicky microphone all of a sudden, you know? You just gotta, like, coax it a little bit. Hope it didn't like that. So right off the bat, as I'm fixing this, I just want to say thank you to you two. No one ever thinks about my health, you know, at all. You know, I always get people coming, and I get it, because everyone wants to make sure their word's out, and they're raising awareness, and I love it. But I get sick a lot now. It's like being a kindergarten teacher, you know?
Yeah.
And Erin, you sent me a message last Monday and said, hey, we're all sick, and I almost sent you a big heart that just said, thank you for taking care of me. Erin, Jess, how is life for Refuge in 2023?
Great.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun.
So this is the first time I've seen Jess and Erin together, so I gotta ask, how'd you get involved?
Erin, I've known Erin for so long, and I was looking to get more involved in the community, and Erin just must have gotten like a note in her head, and she called me and she was like, what do you think about getting involved with Refuge? And I was like, I like it.
Now, how long have you been involved?
Since a few months now. 4 months?
4 or 5.
4 or 5 months.
Well, take me through. Did you ever think you'd find yourself in a community organization such as this one?
I love the mission of Refuge, so yes, I'm not surprised that we partnered up.
Well, and take me through that. It seems like you guys kind of just gelled really well together, and it's really good to help keep this, you know, mission of Refuge going, especially with finding someone like Jess who's younger in the community and really motivated. That's hard to find, Erin.
Absolutely. And, you know, as the executive director of this organization, one of my key responsibilities is board development and, you know, reporting to the board of directors and just kind of finding out, you know, where we really need different people with different skill sets. And so I just kept coming back to my mind and back to my mind, and I think she manifested it, as she said.
I did.
And then I called her, and I love her heart and her passion for people in the community, and so it was a perfect partnership, and she's been a great blessing.
So take me through, what's the role look like for Jess on the board?
Well, we meet every couple months.
Okay.
I really want to increase our community outreach. I feel like not enough people know about Refuge.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
I thought I could help in that aspect.
Well, how's it been? Have you been able to turn a few heads in the last couple of months?
I feel like we've been shaking it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys do such a great service. So before we go right into Giving Tuesday and everything, take us through really what Refuge is all about, because everyone has a great organization in their communities, but I truly think that Refuge hits a box for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So Refuge is an organization that serves children in Madison County. So we're serving our youngest children. So really birth to 11 years old. We are providing free, whenever I say free, at no cost to the families, children who are exposed to really complex traumas like domestic violence, addiction, abuse, neglect. And we're able to provide counseling to those children. And then also on top of that, caregiver support services for those caregivers really safely caring for these kids.
That's a huge point because, you know, we've had Centerstone on and all of these organizations nationally that come on and we finally, I think now the conversation is let's make sure the caregiver has some support too.
Yes.
Because it seems like for a while they were always forgotten about and just told to put the brave face on and you're going to get through this some way, somehow. But it's such a huge point. And just like talking about the kids, there's so many in our districts, whether it's in Alton or throughout the Riverbend, that go through so many just terrible situations that truly need the help. And your organization's a great stepping stone and also a chance to really kind of just let it all go and look forward.
Yeah, and we're really, I think one of our niches that we have is we're providing services for our youngest children.
Yes.
So, 22% of the children that we're serving are under 5.
Really?
And so people don't always realize that our youngest children are impacted greatly.
Yes.
And the earlier we can intervene and provide treatment and provide intervention, mental health intervention, behavioral intervention, caregiver support, the earlier we intervene, science really proves the better the outcomes are for these kids as they go into adolescence and adulthood.
Well, and there's obviously such a mental health crisis. Just look at the schools or talk to anyone who works in the school districts. So the younger you can get them in for help, the better.
Well, right. And I think it's a huge point, too, because, a lot of times kids don't have the safe spot. And, schools go, well, you can talk to this person, you can talk to this person. But in a smaller community, and even though there's 300,000 people in Madison County, that's still a small county.
Yeah.
And so there's always that fear that the child's going, well, what happens if the counselor says this or what happens if this? But to have an organization like Refuge to where, you are safe, we have steps and procedures in place that really keep you protected, but especially as young as 5 years old, because they don't know how to, when we're that young, we don't know what emotions are, we just want snacks and we want the finer things in life, correct? I mean, that's me.
Absolutely. And they know that inside they
100%.
feel so icky and they don't always have the words to really process that. And so that's what's unique with the work that we get to do is we get to teach them and help them learn how to process and talk about the icky.
Especially too, because it's in my opinion, with the conversations we've had, a lot of the talk has been it's a snow globe effect, because a child might see how the parents or how the role models in their lives are interacting at a young age, and then all of a sudden it kind of puts them on not a good path. But with you guys to intervene a little bit younger and really talk to that child, I mean, it really sets apart that, and it sets a tone for, hey, there's a different way to do things, and it's okay to think this way and feel this way, but here's how we act. And I think it's so important.
I agree.
Now, whenever you started Refuge, did you realize just how much of and I think it's a crisis really in this area of ours, did you realize how much of one it was?
Well, I think we definitely realized that there was a gap in services, for our youngest population. But I think even just over the last few years, where mental health is getting more of a voice, and with COVID, coming out of COVID, the impact that it's had on everyone.
Yep.
Young and older.
Absolutely.
I think that we didn't realize what a crisis we were going to have on our hands. I mean, yes, we heard it and we knew it. We're going to see the impact of this, over the next decade. Experts
100%.
nationwide were predicting this mental health crisis, especially coming out of COVID. But I believe we're seeing it.
Well, and too, I'll take it a step further. The mental health crisis has been here since the early 2000s, but no one's, it seems like, it's fallen on deaf ears, where no one wanted to hear it in Washington. It was kind of like, let's do this, let's do that. But I mean, it's been there. And it's great to know, because for a while there weren't that many organizations. But to have folks like you, Erin, and bringing on Jess and growing this board to be full of young people that are vibrant and have experience in different sectors and can really raise awareness, this is huge, because you don't have to worry about the red tape of I hate to say it, but a government program that takes 6 months to get into. You're able to be connected with Refuge and have a really good shot at really, some changes early on.
Yeah. And I'll say, like with Jess, I can sometimes get tunnel vision thinking everyone knows about Refuge because it's my whole world, right?
Yeah.
Like I talk about it, I live it, I breathe it, I go there every day. And so to bring someone like Jess on who's so passionate about it and then is able to say, no, actually, Erin, this whole group of people don't, not that I didn't realize.
I had known Erin for so long, and I had heard the name Refuge, but I didn't realize how important the services were. I didn't realize that insurance doesn't typically cover anyone that young, and so there's no.
Take me through that. That's an
maybe Erin should take you.
Hold on, I didn't know that. So insurance, insurance does
provides some insurances provides mental health coverage. Now, it's not always great. It still can be expensive for families, the premiums, the copays, and all of that. But for our youngest children, especially under 5, they don't. And so that population can go unfunded and untreated. And so, to be able to do that because our community supports this and provides these services at no cost.
You're
to
absolutely
families. These kids are getting treatment.
Well, you're absolutely right. And on top of that, too, I mean, think of all the years that you're saving a child, because once let's say you're 4 years old and you have to wait another year. Well, dang, that year of, hardship and that year of mental distress isn't going to set you up for any type of success for a couple of years. So to get someone in early that's going through these crises and to really help them before they hit the age of 5 or 6 or 7 when insurance would take over or whatever, that's huge. And especially for the healthcare professionals aspect of it too.
Well,
Yeah.
And we're in the schools too.
Yeah.
So some of these children, not even if they had insurance that would cover them, it's even getting their parents to take them to an appointment or their caregivers to take them to an appointment wouldn't happen. So the fact that Refuge is in the schools too and can see students while they're in school and there's no effort on the caregiver's part is awesome too.
Wait, whoa, take me through that. So you can you're in the schools.
Yeah, so we have partnerships with
Jess, you are just hitting all the boxes today. I'm sorry. I wanted to say that. That was great.
Yeah, we do have partnerships with a handful of schools here in Madison County that actually have put us in their budget and provide the funds so that they can have their own full-time refuge therapist in the school that can see their kids who have trauma. And I honestly believe this is only going to grow.
It is.
As the need is greater, as the needs increase, and teachers are just struggling and administrators are struggling because these kids are struggling.
It's a snow globe effect. And thank you for saying that, because so many times, people go, and you see it on Facebook all the time, and there's either somebody's taking a shot at a district, a superintendent, a principal, you name it. But you're right, because if the kids are already distressed, guess what? You're making work a little bit more stressful for the teachers, and that lays over to the administrative side, and then it goes to the district, and you have this snow globe of this tumultuous nature, and it's not good.
Yeah, I've said since the inception of this program almost a decade ago that my big dream is that we could have a refuge therapist in every single district in Madison County, and we're seeing that. We've got, not in every single school, but we've got Alton, we've got Roxana, we've got East Alton. We are getting ready to implement a partnership with Madison School District. And so we're just really continuing to grow in that arena, and then also continuing to do community-based. So whether it's in homes or at other schools or in our office, we're meeting kids where they're at and providing those services.
This is just incredible. I mean, it really is. And now, if you don't mind me asking, because this is a little bit of a pointed, but it's not meant to be. Whenever your therapists or counselors are working with the child, how much of what they see on television or what they see just observationally it's what's kind of driving their feelings? Does that happen quite a bit?
Well, I do think that what our kids watch make a difference. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that we can see increased aggression in kids who are playing violent video games or watching.
Well, I know if I watch too much news or something sad or scary, I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the day. So
No wonder I'm angry all the time.
Right. So yeah, I definitely think it impacts.
Well, and I wanted to ask that too, because sometimes we see the Big Four and all that on the news and the talking heads, and it's just like, I want to talk to somebody that's really experiencing this to see if this is, so in your opinion, yes?
Yeah, yes.
Well, let's take a break, because I want to talk a little bit longer, because we haven't touched Giving Tuesday yet, ways that we can support Refuge, and we still got a lot more to talk about. Let me take a quick pause. It's 9:35, a little bit of change. We'll come back. More of this great conversation hit you right after this.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
This is the first time I can say that nobody is, truly uptight. We're all just loosey having a fun time on a Monday morning. I like it. Ahead of Giving Tuesday, which, you hit on a little bit earlier, Erin. In St. Louis, Giving Tuesday is like the biggest thing out there. And every year when I was working at the radio station, I would almost try to take the day off because I was just overwhelmed by all the Giving Tuesday. But here it doesn't seem like it's as prominent, but it needs to be because you guys' mission is amazing. And you have some, taking me through Giving Tuesday last year.
So Giving Tuesday last year broke records. In the U.S. alone, over $3.1 billion were given, which was like a 15% increase from the year before.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's the largest charitable giving day in our nation. And so I not even just giving money, which is a huge piece of it. I mean, it takes money to help programs run, but also volunteering time, giving goods. All of those things are important.
Does that come into play with Giving Tuesday for Refuge, for volunteer aspects and things? That I know that you have a little bit of a different structure when it comes, because you have licensed people doing the work.
So we don't really utilize volunteers in our like with our kids and in our programmatic operations daily, but we do utilize volunteers down at Riverbend Family Ministries where
They're
we're housed.
great.
Yes, so there are volunteer opportunities in our building, just not necessarily with our kids on the operations side.
And now the at River, I wanted to add, just because you'll know more about, didn't that building just get renovated?
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah, over a year we've been there. It's been wonderful. We went from 7,000 square feet to like 20. I don't want to misquote it, but like 22,000 square feet.
Oh, there you go.
And so, which is great because all of the organizations under that umbrella have just grown. I told Tammy just last week, I said, Tammy, we need to hire some more people at Refuge, and we're already out of office space. She said, well, where are we going to knock out some walls? Tammy's just,
she's the best.
She's great. But no, it's been a great blessing. So there are volunteer opportunities down there. But as far as Giving Tuesday goes, over here, you're right. It's not always been that big of a movement. And I think that it's a great day to bring awareness to charitable organizations and like Refuge, for people to just understand that they can really help change the trajectory of a child's entire life. It costs $56 a month to put one child through mental health services at Refuge.
And these are all kids in our community. This is they're the future. This is the future of our community.
That's a good point too, because sometimes when you get the bigger, huge, multi-state, nationwide organizations, it's hard to pinpoint, all right, where's my money actually going? But whenever you're contributing to Refuge, you are giving back and helping a local child. And for so many business owners, and not just that, but individuals in general, this is, I'm sure, tax deductible with a 501c3. So for 56 times 12, I mean, honestly,
$672 a year.
And you're paying for a child to have mental health services. To me, that's a huge difference.
Huge.
Especially because anyone that's truly worked in any school district, whether it's in Alton, whether it's in, Bethel, anywhere around, knows that there are children that truly need this help.
Absolutely.
And I was talking to a good friend of mine as a former educator, and just hearing some of the stories, I mean, it just breaks your heart. And, for a lot of kids, for me, school is kind of one of those things you rolled your eyes at and kind of go, oh, God, I got to get up today. But for other kids, that was their chance at a little bit of freedom and escape from what they're dealing with at home.
Or food.
And food. Well, that's been my whole argument during COVID when school shut down. I went, how are these kids going to eat? And that was kind of, and I don't want to get into that soapbox, but there's so many kids that really need and utilize the school district just to live.
Oh, 100%. And, to speak to that point, when COVID did hit, I mean, a lot of the schools pivoted and did provide meals still. But from my perspective, it was like the kids that are living in homes with addiction or sexual abuse or neglect. And there's no eyes on these kids, and they're stuck in this house day in and day out. Yeah, we won't go on that soapbox. Well,
I got in a lot of trouble when I went on that soapbox on the radio station, so I can't do that here. But I really did, because no one was screaming bloody murder for these kids that needed help. But regardless of that, you just said $652?
$672.
For a year for a child's mental health services.
For our office-based services.
And how are you able, because that's pretty affordable.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just because of all the work that Refuge has put in to have these umbrellas and partnerships?
Yeah, so we're really fortunate that we are housed at Riverbend Family Ministries. As you know, and I don't know that many in the community know, but Riverbend...
I didn't know. I mean, before I joined the board, I didn't realize what Riverbend Family Ministries did and how great they house 9 smaller nonprofits
that would otherwise never have launched because of all of the overhead that comes with running a business. And so Riverbend provides the brick and mortar. They provide all of the space, the internet, the phones, the trash, the power, the water.
Wow.
All of those things in kind at no cost to us. So all of our dollars raised can really go right back into providing services.
That's huge. I mean, I don't think, like you just said, Jess, and this is why, I started the show too, is because, again, another organization everyone's heard the name of at some point down the gauntlet, but don't really know what it's all about. And that's massive. I mean, for basically being an incubator for nonprofits is a huge thing, especially when it's all the great, like Refuge, and there's Amare and all these wonderful individuals. I mean, it's huge. So cyber-wise, do you guys take donations online?
Yeah. So we've made it super easy. We have a website people can go to give. We have a Facebook page. There's a QR code that you can just click on, and it'll take you right to our portal where you can give. And we're just encouraging people this Giving Tuesday to sponsor a month of therapy for a child, or sponsor a year.
You can make it to where it comes out of your account, a monthly draft.
Well, right, and that's a huge point too. Think about it. This is a great lead-in. You've heard me talk about Hainer Library's library card, where you can get ad-free streaming for free with Biblio Plus. So take out Netflix and Hulu. There's your $56, courtesy of Hainer's free streaming. That can go to a Refuge. And look at that. You're paying for a child's mental health services monthly for a year and really making a difference. How about that tie-in?
And then we can just join this huge movement that's happening in the U.S.
Yeah.
We already have such a generous community, and I just think taking one specific day a year to be part of a nationwide movement, whenever our nation is in such division and distress, to come together and be part of that. Last year, $3.1 billion.
How much was online?
Over $1 billion of
That's
that
insane.
was given online through nonprofits portals.
And too, if you're a younger person out there, that doesn't have the money and always wants to help people, go on social media and share their posts. I mean,
Yeah.
just that goes
The
a long
awareness.
way.
Absolutely.
And you know what else? Over the last decade that I've done this work, some of my most meaningful gifts have been from high school students. Sign up for $5 a month. College students sign up for $5 or $10 a month to give.
Do you know why I think so? It's because they're still in the thick of it and know of people. Because once you get older, you forget about those individuals. Sometimes I know I'm guilty of it. Of the kids that maybe didn't have what they needed to thrive in school. And so I think maybe the younger kids know this. They see the need for it and know that you guys are putting in the work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of seems that way.
Yeah.
I just said maybe.
Oh.
And my life is so
Tunnel. Yep.
I'm around my friends' kids, but I'm not in the school districts. I don't see the hardships every day. So
Do you know what did it for me now that you see? Because that's a perfect segue. Is I saw it whenever I was on Zoom with my little cousin's Zoom class during COVID. And it wasn't, even though it was those little microseconds of just hearing some things in the background and just seeing how the kids were, unfortunately, some of them living, because I walked in to help with math and I'm going, wow. I mean, it's just a huge eye-opener when you see those things. But to hear that Refuge is just turning some... How many districts are you in?
We are in 4 districts
4
currently, and it's just going to continue to grow.
Now, when did you hit them up? When did you hit the in-swing of this? Because this seems like...
So, Roxana School District piloted year 1 3 years ago, and we started with 1 therapist for the Roxana School District, piloted it there, and then the next year they said, actually, we want 3, and then they said, no, we want 4. We want 1 for every single school.
Wow.
In our district. And it's a smaller district, but it's trauma and providing trauma-informed care. They're really a leader that area, and the leadership and the board at that district really understands and sees the need for this, and they've made it a priority.
You know, they really, just the last decade, have taken a lot, really have been the initiative in a lot of, area and county-wide programs that other districts seem to kind of, lead into. I mean, they really are becoming a leader when it comes to these types of decisions, and they're great. I mean, really great.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping up, I've already been talking to you for 30 minutes, my fault. I really enjoyed this, especially because Tuesday is an important day. And like you said, and like I've said, let's make it more important on this side of St. Louis. And you can do that by going to Refuge.
Yeah. www.refuge, the number 4, kids.org. So REFUGE, the number 4, kids, KIDS.org.
Almost had it. Almost had it. Refugeforkids.org. And just what's your day-to-day look like after, going through and doing your job and then coming back and talking with Erin? Is it something that kind of keeps you moving and just enjoyable?
Yeah. Well, any work I do for Refuge, I genuinely really, really enjoy. So it's fun to think of ideas and have meetings and try and implement some of the ideas.
It's really cool to see you guys just keep growing and growing. And what's the best way for people at home, whether they want to reach out to raise awareness, maybe help sponsor a child for maybe even a month or an entire year? I mean, that to me would be the best Christmas program. It really would be.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out to us. We have an email, info@refugeforkids.org, or me personally, Erin, ERIN, @refugeforkids.org. You can call us, you can email us, you can send us a Facebook message through our page, whatever is easiest for you.
Absolutely. And Jess, whenever I talk to you again, I'm sure you're going to have even more that you're working on with Refuge. And I just love the fact, because no one realizes, there's so many organizations, and I'm not dogging anybody because we all got to start somewhere. But the work that's really got to be put in to grow this is amazing. I mean, it's just astronomical. I mean, to get into 4 school districts in 10 years and not only just be in there, but be proficient and add counselors and add to the program.
Well, it started with Erin and another counselor.
Yeah.
There was just 2 of you, right?
I mean, that's a huge testament to what you're all about. I mean, it's just huge.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, before I let you go, what are the next 10 years, if you had a perfect weather forecast, what would it look like?
Well, we are about to hire, once all of our positions are filled, our 20th staff position.
That's awesome.
So the next 10 years, gosh, I can't imagine it growing at the exponential rate it has grown in this decade. But if it does,
It will.
the doors are wide open, and sustainability is huge.
Yes.
And that's really my goal, is to get this program to a place where it's sustainable and pass the reins on to whoever's next, and that this legacy can just continue for our community for years to come.
Well, with people like Jess and then the great
Yes.
board members, the counselors you have, and then one great captain pilot and all, I think you're in great shape. I really do.
Yeah, we're blessed.
Refuge for Kids, that's the number 4kids.org. So you can follow along at home. You can share the material on social media, or if you have the opportunity to, donate this Giving Tuesday and help provide mental health support for a child in need throughout this region. And with that being said, guys, just keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
No problem. Always enjoy talking to you. At 9:51, we'll take a quick break. We'll wrap up the 9 o'clock hour and come back with, well, we'll find out after this.